You're watching The Mic Check, on every Monday afternoon at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern.
Hey everybody, welcome back to The Mic Check. Yes, I am back. I've been gone for a week. I was on vacation and really enjoying it. Meeting some people, doing some
Getting
impressions.
away from us.
Toting a puppet around a convention. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Really a lot of fun. Met and did an impression of someone. Funny story. I'll tell everybody about it later. Anyway, on with voiceover. What we've got here tonight is New Heroes of Goo Jitsu, Beast from the Zoo. Okay, this is a commercial that's wedged between episodes of SpongeBob or other things on Nickelodeon. And being that this is the type of commercial that it is, and this is going to be a stretch for everybody, but this is still yet commercial voiceover, but it's for a toy. And a toy that, like I told everybody at the beginning before we started recording this, it harkens back to what we of a certain age called Stretch Armstrong, that type of a toy. But these things are a little bit more, I guess, a better design than what we had when we were kids. But this is all upbeat and it's got that Sunday, like you're announcing for Monster Trucks or WWE or whatever your favorite, action sport is. This has got that involved in it. That kind of upbeat read.
Badminton.
Badminton. Well, I thought for Canadians it would be curling, that sort of thing.
Hockey.
Oh, well, yes, hockey for sure. Okay. But that's what this is. And do we have any volunteers to go first?
I nominate Janet.
Hey.
Oh my God. All right, sure.
Second.
Well, this is just a read through. I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm not, right? I'm just going to
say whatever you say.
The thing of it is,
That's what you want to believe, then Janet, that's what you believe.
the thing of it is you can do this. It is possible.
Oh, I know. All right.
You can do it.
New heroes of Goo Jitsu, Beast from the Zoo, full of squishy, stretchy goo. Nothing looks like them, nothing fights like them. They twist, they stretch, they crunch. It's goo versus evil. You can master the goo power of all 13 heroes. Heroes of Goo Jitsu, each sold separately. All right. Frank.
Yes. All righty, let's give this a shot. New heroes of Goo Jitsu, Beast from the Zoo, full of squishy, stretchy goo. Nothing looks like them, nothing fights like them. Sorry. Nothing looks like them, no one fights like them. They twist, they stretch, they crunch. It's goo versus evil. You can master the goo power of all 13 heroes. Heroes of Goo Jitsu, each sold separately.
Oh, that was good. I didn't expect that.
Russ.
New heroes of Goo Jitsu, Beast from the Zoo, full of squishy, stretchy goo. Nothing looks like them, no one fights like them. They twist, they stretch, they crunch. It's goo versus evil. You can master the goo power of all 13 heroes. Heroes of Goo Jitsu, each sold separately. Richard.
Okay, I'm keeping our list here, so. All right. New heroes of Goo Jitsu, Beast from the Zoo, full of squishy, stretchy goo. Nothing looks like them, no one fights like them. They twist, they stretch, they crunch. It's goo versus evil. You can master the goo power of all 13 heroes. Heroes of Goo Jitsu, each sold separately. Tim.
All righty. You guys can hear me, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Sore throat, apologize. All right. New heroes of Jiu-Jitsu, Beast from the Zoo, full of squishy, stretchy goo. Nothing looks like them. No one fights like them. They twist, they stretch, they crunch. It's goo versus evil. You can master the goo power of all 13 heroes. Heroes of Goo Jitsu, each sold separately.
But you're choosing who goes next.
You're gonna goo. The goo's gonna be Goldie. Goldie Goo.
Trying to get the mic a little closer, but we'll see how this goes. Probably not the best when I'm going to be loud.
No, you sound good.
Yeah,
Okay, good.
technically this is a zone 3 read, so you're fine.
I'm just fine. New heroes of Goo. New heroes of Goo Jitsu. Beasts from the zoo. Full of squishy, stretchy goo. Nothing looks like them. No one fights like them. They twist. They stretch. They crunch. It's Goo versus evil. You can master the goo power of all 13 heroes. Heroes of Goo Jitsu. Each sold separately. Has John gone?
Not yet.
John has not gone.
Then he's next.
John is
John, you're
pulling a
muted.
Richard.
John, you're muted.
John, you're muted. John, you're muted.
John, you're muted.
That was the greatest
swear
rant ever.
I
That's not
know.
great.
I cannot top that. I
We
swear.
were trying to follow your lip flaps.
All
right. It's okay.
Take 2. New heroes of Goo Jitsu. Beasts from the zoo. Full of squishy, stretchy goo. Nothing looks like them. No one fights like them. They stretch. Sorry. They twist. They stretch. They crunch. It's Goo versus evil. You can master the goo power of all 13 heroes. Heroes of Goo Jitsu. Each sold separately. All right, how about Nathan?
Okay. New heroes of Goo Jitsu. Beasts from the zoo. Full of squishy, stretchy goo. Nothing looks like them. No one fights like them. They twist. They stretch. They crunch. It's Goo versus evil. You can master the goo power of all 13 heroes. Heroes of Goo Jitsu. Each sold separately. Let's see. Dan.
Huh? Okay, hold on just a second. New heroes of Goo Jitsu. Beasts from the zoo. Full of squishy, stretchy goo. Nothing looks like them. No one fights like them. They twist. They stretch. They crunch. It's Goo versus evil. You can master the goo power of all 13 heroes. Heroes of Goo Jitsu. Each sold separately. All right, now I gotta figure out who I'm picking next. I know Michael hasn't gone, and I know Rob. Are you reading today?
Yeah.
Okay, Rob.
Okay. New heroes of Goo Jitsu. Beasts from the zoo, full of squishy, stretchy goo. Nothing looks like them. No one fights like them. They twist, they stretch, they crunch. It's Goo versus evil. You can master the goo power of all 13 heroes. Heroes of Goo Jitsu. Each sold separately. Okay, let's see. Let's use my cursor. Oh my gosh.
Let's see. That leaves Michael.
Okay.
Okay, well, your choice is easy. I'm up next. Unless the studio or my phone wants to go next.
Hang
No?
on, let me run into the next room here.
All right, let's give this a go. New heroes of Goo Jitsu. Beasts from the zoo. Full of squishy, stretchy goo. Nothing looks like them. No one fights like them. They twist. They stretch. They crunch. It's Goo versus evil. You can master the goo power of all 13 heroes. Heroes of Goo Jitsu. Each sold separately. Okay, Discussion time.
Yeah.
Unless I've missed somebody, which I'm prone to do.
No, no.
You know, one thing I noticed, Michael, is I don't know if any of us took into consideration, and I don't know if this is important or not, but that this airs on Nickelodeon. I don't know if any of us, so aim this at children. You know,
Yes,
the whole
yes.
who is our audience thing. You know, and it's now that I think back on the reads, it seems like maybe we're projecting to an adult audience instead of a child audience.
That's exactly how those commercials sounded when I was a kid watching Saturday morning cartoons.
Yes,
That was
yes.
the only time to watch them. That's
Oh,
exactly
man.
how they sounded.
The Transformers commercials, aside from the
I went
injection
way
of the
before
kids,
that.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna get you Optimus Prime, that sort of thing.
Well, let's reach back in time a little bit because that was, definitely a different era. Does anybody remember the Land Before Time movies?
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Oh boy, do
The
I remember.
TV commercials were done by Don LaFontaine.
Cool.
Land Before Time, Don LaFontaine.
Okay.
Yes.
So maybe I'm
Yes.
wrong.
So,
Yeah.
so it's honestly, I think, once again, and this kind of harkens back to the kinds of things we've been learning from our guests. It's all about your, who you are, what's your goal in this whole thing. Like, where are you coming from, and why are you saying what you're saying? So, Nathan, I'm assuming you heard these commercials actually on air, right?
Yes. Well, and also while I was transcribing it, because there was actually absolutely no text available. So I kind of got the gist of the feel of this, and the way it's targeted sounds like, the whole wrestling announcer thing. And I mean, even though this thing is brand new. All right.
Okay.
Never before existed. I didn't even know it existed until I saw it on iSpot TV. So, here's the thing. Being that it's so new, and it is for a slated upcoming cartoon series, apparently. So it's toys based on it's a cartoon series based on toys, a la Transformers. But the thing of it is now on the actual commercial, they have spots where they show segments of cartoon where these creatures that we're talking about are fighting, and they actually have them voiced over by someone else. Apparently the actual actors that are doing the show. So, I left that part out on purpose because when you're doing something like this, either they're going to play an animatic and you're going to hear the other parts that are in there, or you're going to have to do this and they're going to fill in the blanks with what you're doing. They're going to piece it all together and have the segments of the cartoon wedged in between each line that you're doing that they want them wedged in between. So that's the gist of it. But the whole thing is really fast paced, really, Sunday. Hey, this is, and it really does have that feel.
Okay.
So everyone's read, as far as their initial read, was spot on with giving it that feel. So even though it sounds like it's geared for adults, I mean, when you see the visuals coupled up with this, it's not geared for adults. It's geared for a little bit of an older age range. I mean, I wouldn't give this to a 4-year-old, but at the same time, somewhere upwards of maybe 10 and up, that sort of thing.
Okay.
So preteen, teenager.
Yeah. So like, okay, like when my son was around that age, okay, he was big into Dragon Ball Z. I saw a lot of Dragon Ball Z stuff.
Well, and the kid's got to be big enough to actually stretch the stuff out.
Yeah.
Little 4-year-old.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
not
look, I was
unless he's
I
big.
was 6 when I had Stretch Armstrong. So okay, that was
Yeah.
43 years ago, but I was a 6-year-old kid. So
That's okay. Who's counting?
You could take it down to probably about 6, but in this day and age, they usually don't hand 6-year-olds toys like that. Back when I was a kid, we were handed sharp knives. Hey, you can play with this. It's okay. Just don't cut yourself.
Darts, lawn darts.
Lawn darts. I was thinking
Yeah.
that.
That was the best.
Yeah. Just be careful, son. Don't cut yourself. Did you cut yourself? Yeah. I'm gonna take that knife away for a week, okay, boy?
Okay,
Take it up in
then.
the south.
So if this is, well, I will say, intrinsically, in one way, shape, or form, every commercial is written towards adults because they're the ones who are spending the money.
Yeah,
But,
exactly. But they're
but-
getting kids excited about this toy.
Right.
That's also a cartoon.
Right.
All us selling it just like they did Transformers.
So then, what can we infer about the character of the announcer from, first of all, what we're reading, and secondly, the direction?
That the character of the announcer, he really does have that wrestling announcer thing going on. He's getting up. He's up in that kind of mindset.
Okay.
A wrestling announcer, monster truck rally. You've got to get this new thing. It's really great. Come on, that sort of thing. And yeah,
I found the spot and I just posted the link to it if anybody wants to see it. I don't know how to play it on here.
We'll share it at the end. We'll see how close we got.
yeah, we'll share it at the end, and I will lop it off in lieu of, hey, we want to be not flagged by YouTube as doing something illegal.
Yeah.
So,
So
You mean free advertising for somebody? Wow.
yeah.
You're right.
so then let's look at the context of what's being said here, and then we can definitely get more of an idea of the kind of person that would be saying something like this. Because once again, right now we're in more of a character focus feel.
Yes.
So goo. When you think of goo, what do you think of?
Green slimy crap.
But it's also actually associated with a specific brand. I know I'm really reaching this
Yeah.
time.
I
But
mean,
it definitely is associated with like Nickelodeon.
Hey, when
this is-
Nickelodeon big time. I mean, the slime thing all over.
Well, I
there's
don't
all
really
the
think
channels
of, like, when I
too.
think of goo, I think of like the new version of Silly Putty.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then there you go. Yeah, younger audience, maybe one that's okay with like high energy, high excitement, things like that.
Yeah. Yeah. And the thing of it is when you're selling something like this, I mean, there's fighting that goes on in this cartoon. Okay. There's
Well,
a lot of,
that's another point there.
yeah, I mean,
some of the focus is on fighting.
jujitsu. I mean, it's a take on jujitsu. So it's,
Yeah, that was another thing that I saw was missed in a lot of the reads, is that's a pun. Gujitsu is a pun.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
and especially since this is supposed to be a higher excitement read for younger audience, I think you can go ahead and like, almost punch up goo a little bit more. New heroes of Goo-Jitsu. You're sort of
Yes.
playing to that particular feel, that whole like, oh, okay, yeah, it's supposed to be funny, but it's not really. So yeah, do not skip over the jokes that are written in there. Because this is
Yeah.
obviously, because the character behind this is obviously somebody who thinks they're hilarious and that they're actually hyping somebody up. But Gujitsu's really lame. Not that I have a problem with this. If I was hired to voice something like this, I wouldn't complain about the product whatsoever. But
Not at all.
yeah. So a lot of this is about fighting. It's about really like getting a little bit rough and tumble with these toys, full of squishy, stretchy goo. When people use those words,
Yeah,
squishy,
yeah.
stretchy, crunch, things like that, twist, like that's really putting strain on something. So,
Yeah.
there's almost a little hint of
One of the
violence.
visual actually shows when it says crunch, it actually shows a kid squeezing the chest on one of those things, and it's got what looks like bones on the inside going, so it looks like he's literally crushing that thing to death. Please do not give this kid a hamster after playing with that toy.
So then another thing that I noticed is that a lot of the energy dropped off by the ends of each of the sentences.
Okay.
So, full of squishy, stretchy goo. People just drop the energy at that point. Then you should ramp up the energy. It's almost like upspeak, but with your excitement. Full of squishy, stretchy goo. Put more emphasis on that because you're going to cut to a scene and then you're going to move to the next line.
Okay.
So it's okay to sort of ramp into the scene if you want to. Like that's kind of the feel that we're going for here. This is somebody who's high energy through the entire thing. Now, high energy doesn't necessarily mean fast speed. That was one thing I noticed. Some people were losing a lot of what they were trying to say and things were blending together because they were just moving really, 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 really fast through it. No, you can be really excited about something and still be very controlled in your pitch and in your tone.
Okay.
So you can still read things at a normal pace, but give it some extra life. So new heroes of Goo-Jitsu or new heroes of Goo-Jitsu. Same pace, different energy.
Right.
So
the instructions say fast paced though.
Yeah.
But
It
not to the
does
point
say
of
fast
then I am wrong.
sounds.
Okay.
Wait, what? What?
Well, the
On the
instructions, it does say fast-paced. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess the biggest rule then would be don't garble anything you're trying to say.
Yeah. You can be fast, but not
Mouth.
like them.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the moment you start combining words, you're going a little too fast. Okay.
Yeah.
So quicker on this one. My bad.
Yeah. There was a section of this that was very hard to transcribe because it was so fast paced that it literally sounded like he smudged his words. And I'm like listening back. Okay.
I got a question on how it starts. It can be either new heroes of Goo-Jitsu or is it new heroes of Goo-Jitsu?
I think it's more of that second thing. New heroes of Goo-Jitsu.
That's what I thought. It's missing a comma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
Okay.
exclamation point.
That would be the fault of the guy transcribing it. I apologize for that, but good catch. Really good catch.
Well, that's the way I read it, but I went because it's not new heroes. It's like, no.
Yeah.
The commercial's got a micro pause, so it's in between the two.
Yeah. Now, coming at this like we've never seen this before, it's one of those things where it's like you definitely have to catch it.
Yeah.
Okay. So does anybody else have anything else they notice about the script itself or about anything that might tell us what the character is, what kind of approach we need to have to it?
They're very excited about it.
Yeah, it's that Sunday thing. That's what they're asking for, and it's written that way.
They're one of those people like me. Who are always trying to sort of turn things into puns. It's goo versus evil.
Yeah.
Hey, that's a good one to play to.
Okay.
And they like to play because it's not just like at Daiso, you can get these erasers that are little creatures, and I gave them to my dad, and he puts together little things for kids, and he gave one to a kid, and it turns out that the erasers actually come apart into like 5 different. This is the head, and this is the horns come out of the head, and it's like 50 million pieces, and kids just take things apart and find things, and so similar to that, they have a sort of a kid-like thing. It's not just oh look, I can twist. It's twisting. You can stretch it.
Yeah. And that's another thing with the visuals on that is because when they say twist, they actually show a kid wringing one out, just like like a piece of laundry, and they're showing the one stretching the arm out to the point of breaking.
So then should we approach this from almost like being, I don't have a really good way of saying this, but should we approach this as almost like being like adult children, like super excited about these toys ourselves?
Oh yeah,
I would say definitely.
Yeah,
for sure.
Okay, so then I guess one of your biggest challenges for this right now is going to be approach this as something you're excited about. So think back on maybe some way that you've spoken to somebody about something that you really love or that you're really into or that, you know, they're actually listening to you about. And try to draw on that yourself. Try to draw on some personal excitement you've had with
We're gonna fanboy this.
yeah, we're gonna fanboy it.
Yeah.
And fangirl because, you know,
Yeah. Cuts.
we have a mix of actors and actresses in here, so
Oh yes.
I think more of a thinking about a toy that was your favorite you got for Christmas when you were younger. That seems to be closer to the feeling to me, anyway.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, there. Okay, so we've got some sorry, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
Sunday it without being a sell. Like if you've ever talked with a kid who's into, say, dinosaurs. Oh, and then this is a Brontosaurus Rex, and he's got arms in here, and this is a Tyrannosaurus Rex, and they fight like this, and they'll tell you all about it. So you know, you get 13 heroes. You know, you can be that excited dork pun maker. I'm sorry. I can say that, I hope.
Let me put it this way. I'm a complete nerd when it comes to a whole lot of stuff. I mean,
Yeah, find your inner nerd and geek out about it. So not necessarily dork.
I mean, I'm sitting here with Doctor Who in my booth. So.
Yeah.
Well, then I think we've got
that and
this on my desk and
MST3K. So
pros, and,
this
you know.
as a permanent home in my booth.
yes, yes.
Exactly.
And plus, I've been geeking out over Legend of Zelda ever since the announcement of Breath of the Wild 2. So hey, there's that.
So
I think we've got a
Sunday, but from a genuine place.
Yeah, exactly.
okay. So I think we've got a good idea of the kind of personal experiences that we need to draw on. So then why don't we go back in, give it a shot, see how it goes. Maybe we can tweak it from there.
Okay.
All right. So let's see. Who was first?
Yeah, it was Janet.
That's right, Janet.
All right.
All right. Go ahead.
All right.
Have some fun with it.
Yeah. Ouch. New Heroes of Jiu-Jitsu, beasts from the zoo, full of squishy, stretchy goo. Nothing looks like them, no one fights like them. They twist, they stretch, they crunch. It's goo versus evil. You can master the goo power of all 13 heroes. Heroes of Goo-Jitsu, each sold separately.
You know, I would fix that first line where you said jujitsu instead of gujitsu.
Did I?
But other than that, that was a really decent approach.
Yeah, it was a really solid read.
Yeah.
The only thing is your energy dropped off. That excitement kind of went down a couple of levels when you hit you can master the goo power of all 13 heroes.
Okay.
But that was the only drop. Like you went right back up. Heroes of Goo-Jitsu, each sold separately.
The cool thing is you kept your body in motion. You were just like all over the place with it. That was great.
Oh, good.
Your body.
Okay.
I was thinking you need to bring out goo a little more every time. Kind of
Okay.
like what Michael said, but it seems to be really what they want you to do.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
So
Well,
a couple of times you just said goo. You didn't like goo, you know?
Okay.
an
Okay.
important thing to remember is that we're not trying to match the ad. We're trying to come up with a
Yeah.
read.
Yeah, I've
It's-
never seen the ad, so I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there you go. You're coming at it just like you've never seen it
Yeah.
before,
Good. You're not going to be tainted by any previous anything.
which will
Okay.
really stretch my acting skills because I saw it multiple times while transcribing it, but that's okay.
Well, anyway, so just be careful. Goo-Jitsu. Make sure to hit goo a lot more, and try to keep that same that same excitement level that you're at throughout the whole thing.
Okay. All right. All right. All right. Okay. Okay. Oh, how's it? Oh, yeah. Okay. New Heroes of Goo-Jitsu, beasts from the zoo, full of squishy, stretchy goo. Nothing looks like them, no one fights like them. They twist, they stretch, they crunch. It's goo versus evil. You can master the goo power of all 13 heroes. Heroes of Goo-Jitsu, each sold separately.
All right, opening it up. What did everybody think?
And now back to HR Puffin stuff. Man, I was just harkening back to my childhood. That was fantastic, Janet.
That was great. And you were worried about a female voice fitting, and I thought it fit just fine. I thought it was a terrific read.
Oh, all right. Okay.
I mean, seriously, if this was the 1970s, you would have been hired. That would have worked for Saturday
That's my
morning.
problem.
That would have worked for Saturday morning. It was like, oh, I'm here. It was like, man, yeah, I feel like I've heard this before. You know,
Good. Well, good. I'm glad
So,
to know that.
that was
Because
fantastic.
I would be afraid to read that in an audition, but that gave me some confidence. If that ever comes up, I can just give it a shot.
Yeah.
Why not? I thought it was terrific.
Right,
Hey,
right.
yeah, no, I thought it was great.
Hey, in recent
Okay.
weeks, I've done something that I did not think I would do, and I did something completely narration based. So, it's possible, Janet. It is possible.
Okay. All right.
All right. Well,
Thanks, guys.
Frank, you're up.
Go get him, bud.
Oh yeah, me. Hold on a second. I just got to find it here again. I was kind of preoccupied doing something else for a second. I apologize.
It happens.
Haha, here we go. Okay, let me just do this here and this here. Alrighty. New Heroes of Goo Jitsu, beasts from the zoo, full of squishy, stretchy goo. Nothing looks like them. No one fights like them. They twist, they stretch, they crunch. It's goo versus evil. You can master the goo power of all 13 heroes. Heroes of Goo Jitsu, each sold separately.
All right. What did everybody think?
I thought it was good.
Sounded good to me.
I really liked that one too. Those of us that grew up watching Saturday morning cartoons,
Yes,
we know what it needs to sound like. And
yes, we do. That I'm like reliving my childhood. I'm 6 years old all over again.
And you're 6 years old, and Richard and mine 6-year-old are two completely.
Of course, when am I not 6 years old anyway? But
not in this answer at all.
You're
Yeah.
4?
I'm not talking 63, 64.
Well, you know.
Well, there's a 6 somewhere in there.
And where with you guys, it was goo. With us, it was it was like Johnny 7. So
let's see. We had Stretch Armstrong. We had Slime. I remember Slime. Oh, that stuff was everywhere.
Frank, that was excellent. I don't know. Anybody have any suggestions on what might get changed? I didn't catch anything.
I mean, if there was any it was enthusiasm, which is really great through the whole thing. The only thing I heard that didn't sound enthusiastic, but it was fine. It was, you can master the goo power of all 13 heroes. If you could try to say it.
up, speak on those. Okay, I can
That's
do
it. That's it.
Let's try this again then. New Heroes of Goo Jitsu, beasts from the zoo, full of squishy, stretchy goo. Nothing looks like them. No one fights like them. They twist, they stretch, they crunch. It's goo versus evil. You can master the goo power of all 13 heroes. Heroes of Goo Jitsu, each sold separately.
Oh yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Love it.
Nice.
Bravissimo, bravissimo.
Once in a while, it's good to sound like a radio announcer.
The nice thing with that, though, it did not give that radio announcer vibe. It really didn't. It actually came off in a different way. So, you see, that's the acting an actor.
Well, thank
All
you.
right, Russ's turn to wow us.
All right.
New Heroes of Goo Jitsu, beasts from the zoo, full of squishy, stretchy goo. Nothing looks like them. No one fights like them. They twist, they stretch, they crunch. It's goo versus evil. You can master the goo power of all 13 heroes. Heroes of Goo Jitsu, each sold separately.
See,
My one nitpick is during the second line, you ended it off on an up, like on an up note, which sounded like you were going to continue the idea. Like nothing looks like him, no one fights like him, and then you moved on to the next line.
Yeah,
So
but he ended on a down note on the first part. So it's like nothing looks like him, no one fights like him.
But with this, it's going to be broken up. This is definitely going to be broken up with imagery.
Yes.
So each line is individual.
Yeah. See, and what I was going to say is, he did this. Russ, you did the same thing I did. You went down on 13 heroes instead of going on an upswing there.
Okay.
Yeah, because when you.
But you know what I personally, and this is just me, you know what I like about you reading this is you, for obvious reasons, have a younger sounding voice. So it's almost believable that you're almost in the age group that would actually really enjoy these things or collect them and put them on a shelf or do something like that.
Yeah.
Relatable voice. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's sort of almost in that Billy West zone of reading. So yours is the voice that if I was casting, I wouldn't cast an old guy like me. I honestly, I would cast.
How old are you, Frank?
I'm 75. No, I'm 56.
I'm 52.
Like a million, Frank. You're not 50.
Good Lord, you're not that old, Frank.
Are you? You're 52, Russ?
Yep.
Get out of here.
I never would believe that. I honestly would have thought, I mean, I've never met you, obviously, but just based on your voice and your look and that, I would have thought you were more along the lines of late 20s, early 30s.
No kidding.
Yeah, I get that all the time.
Yeah. Well, good.
He just came back in from a bike ride. He keeps himself in shape.
That's
Yeah,
right.
well, that's true.
It helps. It's paying off. It's paying off.
Sit in a production studio all day long and playing with sound effects. Anyways, back to what we're talking about. Yeah, I would hire more somebody along your line than a voice more like yours. You've got a youthful sounding voice for someone who's in their 50s.
Yeah, it's fun.
I would hire someone more like you for this than I would for someone like myself who's got the deeper register, the Sunday kind of thing.
Well, if I could just find someone that was hiring like you, that'd be great.
They will come along. They will.
Yeah, they will.
All right, so let me just make those 2 changes and do it one more time.
I've said my 3 cents, so.
Well, thank you.
New heroes of Goo Jitsu. Beasts from the zoo. Full of squishy, stretchy goo. Nothing looks like them. No one fights like them. They twist. They stretch. They crunch. It's goo versus evil. You can master the goo powers of all 13 heroes. Heroes of Goo Jitsu. Each sold separately.
Bravissimo.
Oh, thanks.
Excellent.
That would have. I would have.
Excellente. Excellente.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd hire that voice for this commercial without a doubt.
Right. How much does it pay?
Well, could be a national
Union
commercial.
rate.
So
National.
Union.
Oh, the union crap.
We'll give you $25.
Right.
Hey, they can always Taft-Hartley you.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Like I said, $25 and a complete set of all 13 heroes.
Take it out.
Good deal. You got all 13 of them.
Is that
That's
on
right.
Fiverr?
Thanks for coming out, kid.
Well, Russ, fantastic job on that. I don't have anything more to say. You fixed all the issues I saw.
All right.
That was
Great
really
read.
good.
I'm sorry, Richard. You have to follow that up.
Well, I got to follow. What was it? I did 3 really good reads. Jeepers creepers. All right.
Just keeps getting better.
New heroes of Goo Jitsu. Beast from the zoo, full of squishy, stretchy goo. Nothing looks like them. No one fights like them. They twist, they stretch, they crunch. It's goo versus evil. You can master the goo power of all 13 heroes. Heroes of Goo Jitsu. Each sold separately.
I could feel the crunch on crunch. That was great.
Who's next? Who's next?
What about the each sold separately line that's so misplaced? Is that good?
That's on purpose because that's what it was like back then. I mean,
That's what it was like.
It was always like that. Heroes of Goo Jitsu, each sold separately.
Yeah.
There would
That
be
was-
this little. Be
Yeah,
like, what-
nowadays, though, a lot of that is included into the reads themselves, like
that's
into
kinda
the
what I was
actual
thinking, too.
performance. Yeah, a lot of that is included into the performance. So
that was
I would
included
say,
into this one, and it actually sounded like that.
What?
Wait,
It
wait.
sounded like each sold separately.
Wait,
Yep.
what does Mike mean by that? What do you mean by that, Mike? What do you mean?
well, that you don't always break character to do the
Oh.
each sold separately or the the extra taglines or things like that. Like, I don't know if you notice a lot of like medication commercials nowadays. Instead of having like the really fast speaker do the whole may cause all kinds of unpleasant things and early death.
Right.
Yeah, they just
But
Now
other than
they just have the voice actor just read it all normally.
Yeah.
Like it's no longer those they don't have the specialized reads for those kinds of things. It's all just straight up read normally. So
Okay.
generally, what I mean by that is when it says each sold separately, would be included into the performance in many modern commercials. I mean that you'd keep the same character for the whole thing. So if you started, new heroes of Gujitsu, you'd also end it off with each sold separately. It's not an actual break. You don't necessarily come out of the character for the tagline there.
And they're
Yeah.
doing that nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess I've not heard that. Here, I'll do the end of that.
Probably.
Heroes of Gujitsu, each sold separately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Along those lines.
Something like that,
Yeah.
along those lines.
Yeah.
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 Interesting thing is, though, is that first time Richard read that was the way the guy on the original spot read it, where he dropped, he had all that energy, and then he dropped down to each sold separately.
Yeah, that's the way.
I guess it
Like
depends.
Frank was saying, that's what it was for all the years getting up with your bowl of cereal
Yeah.
and watching Saturday morning cartoons. It was all this excitement, and then it was like the fine print at the end was like
The multiple commercials that I watched when I was a kid, batteries not included.
Well, now they're changing that up to where it's a little bit more inclusive in the performance itself.
Yeah.
So I mean, it still depends on the company you're doing the work for. Some of them will have that, some of them won't. But for the most part, in a lot of the commercials that I've seen lately, a lot of those things that used to be relegated to the fast readers and the overlapping editing and things like that, so it just like snaps by really, really fast. They just include to the performance.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah. And they squeeze it in under 30 seconds.
I'm thinking about the way that you're talking about, but they usually add it in the middle of the performance. So like
Yeah.
you could purchase all 13 separately instead of each sold separately. Each sold separately says that it's coming back at the end, just like batteries not included. It's just a little throwaway line at the very
It
end.
is, but even those little throwaway lines are sometimes included.
yeah, it's a kind
So,
of a director's choice, I guess. I don't know.
I don't know if you want to stick out.
Yep.
Do something different with it, I guess. I don't know.
Do it both ways. So I did it both ways. Is that
There you
working
go.
enough for everyone?
There
Yeah.
you go.
Yeah.
I don't
And,
know.
and in my realm of experience, I always use the one you didn't think they would use.
That was the case. Well, anyway, moving right along. Tim, you're up.
New heroes of Jujitsu, beast from the zoo, full of squishy, stretchy goo. Nothing looks like them. No one fights like them. They twist, they stretch, they crunch. It's goo versus evil. You can master the goo power. You can master the goo power of all 13 heroes. Heroes of Goo Jitsu, each sold separately.
Okay. You said jujitsu at the very beginning,
The first one, yeah.
but did anybody else have anything they wanted to point out? Anybody else notice anything?
It sounded to me like he was angry.
just straight
I
up
mean-
mad. New
Yeah.
heroes of Gujitsu.
Jujitsu.
Because you're gonna
Yeah.
really like it, okay?
There was a ton of gravel on that.
Too much gravel, huh? Okay.
You could master the goo power of all 13 heroes. Like you didn't bring out goo there.
You got it.
Mr.
Yeah.
Goo.
Need a little more goo.
More goo bell.
It's all right. The goo can take it. You can punch it. Punch the goo.
Double O. I got triple O's now. Okay.
Goo. Yep.
Okay. New heroes of Goo-Jitsu, beast from the zoo, full of squishy, stretchy goo. Nothing looks like them, no one fights like them. They twist, they stretch, they crunch. It's goo versus evil. You can master the goo power of all 13 heroes. Heroes of Goo-Jitsu, each sold separately.
All right. What did everybody think of that?
Oh no.
I like that.
Yeah, I like that one. That was definitely different than some of the others, but it still had the energy, and I think you kept it all the way through. So it was still full of excitement, enough for a kid. Mommy, I want one of these Goo-Jitsus.
For time?
No. I think you filled that performance up with enough goo.
We're all
no anger.
And you
It was
said
really
hey.
goo.
Bada bum.
Oh boy.
It was Goo-licious.
Yeah, wait.
Goo, goo, goo. Oh.
Shoot.
Now you got me thinking of the Frankenberry commercial.
Shoot.
Franken.
I put Nathan next. Nathan, I may have put you in the wrong spot. I apologize. I'm going, I missed somebody. And it was you, Nathan. I didn't get you put in.
No, I think you did put me next.
Yeah.
After
Yeah,
10.
I
That's
think
what
I
I thought it
found 10.
was, but I went,
Yeah.
I've only got 10 and there's 11 of us. I missed somebody. And I go and count 5 times before I realized it was Nathan. I'm so sorry.
Not a problem.
All right. Well, Nathan, you are up. Go for it.
Yes. New heroes of Goo-Jitsu, beasts from the zoo, full of squishy, stretchy goo. Nothing looks like them, no one fights like them. They twist, they stretch, they crunch. It's goo versus evil. You can master the goo power of all 13 heroes. Heroes of Goo-Jitsu, each sold separately.
Okay. It was definitely fast paced, but it wasn't super excited or engaged with what's being said.
It felt rushed more than fast, even though it was fast.
Okay.
It needs more feeling with the words. Like, go stretchy, whatever.
Goo stretchy. Okay.
Bring the words to life, my boy.
New heroes of Goo-Jitsu, beasts from the zoo, full of squishy, stretchy goo. Nothing looks like them, no one fights like them. They twist, they stretch, they crunch. It's goo versus evil. You can master the goo power of all 13 heroes. Heroes of Goo-Jitsu, each sold separately.
Okay. What did everybody think of that?
Can you go? It's good versus evil. Can you do that? Copy it.
It's goo versus evil.
Yeah, more like that. Yeah. I don't know.
I
What
almost
did
want to say
everybody
more
think?
up, which is unusual with you.
Yeah. Your enthusiasm started out good, and I thought it kind of petered out toward the end. It just kind of.
Okay.
The beast from the zoo, that's like their tagline or something. And you're just kind of reading beast from the zoo. And then I noticed
Beast from the zoo. Okay.
beast from the zoo. I don't know. And then Mike, same thing Mike told me, no one fights like him, kind of went down. So I hear more what he's saying when I heard you.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Where we share a range, that's very helpful, Russ. Because we're both hitting that same area right up there.
Yep.
New heroes of Goo-Jitsu, beasts from the zoo, full of squishy, stretchy goo. Nothing looks like them. No one fights like them. They twist, they stretch, they crunch. It's goo versus evil. You can master the goo power of all 13 heroes. Heroes of Goo-Jitsu, each sold separately.
Okay. So some of the things that I've noticed that have been pretty consistent is you put a hard pause in between jit and zoo. I think you can go ahead and fudge that together just a little bit more.
Okay.
Goo-jitsu. Because the jitsu part is not important, but you emphasize that along with the whole thing. New heroes of Goo-Jitsu. You know, like
Okay.
You want more on the goo because that's sort of the selling point.
Okay.
On top of that, you didn't change your delivery with that second line. Nothing looks like them. No one fights like them. You're putting a lot of emphasis on the very beginning words and just dropping off entirely with the rest of them. Nothing looks like them. No one fights like them. So
Gotcha.
nothing looks like them. Looks and fights. Those are the things. Nothing looks like them. No one fights like them. You're trying to make that's your sales pitch there. So I like how you gave twist, stretch, and crunch just a little bit of personality each. I'd say bring that out more. Like go ahead and play with this more. Be more of a character. Be more of a kid
Okay.
about this.
Yeah, I think it was a lot better than the first time, though. You're definitely getting there. And I'm thinking fights like them. You need to think you're punching somebody when you say no one fights like them.
In fact, throw a punch when you say it. No one fights like him.
Okay. New Heroes of Goo Jitsu, beasts from the zoo, full of squishy, stretchy goo. Nothing looks like them, no one fights like them. They twist, they stretch, they crunch. It's goo versus evil. You can master the goo power of all 13 heroes. Heroes of Goo Jitsu, each sold separately.
All right, opening it up. What did everybody think?
I don't want to pick on Nathan. He's wonderful.
Oh,
It just doesn't.
He's here to
sound-
get better. Pick
Yes,
on
I
him.
know.
Yes, yes. Help me
gotta
to
think.
sharpen this thing.
It's the same read. It's the same read.
It's a commercial read here.
Yeah, the read didn't change.
But you know, play,
Gotcha.
maybe
didn't
you
have any
play one of your
enthusiasm.
characters. Do you have
But
characters?
Get out of your head.
Can you
Yeah.
do
You're asking Nathan if he has characters?
No, I know, but I mean,
You're
like
asking if
one,
I have a character.
like who would do this that you know of the impressions that you do if you do them, or because try and do it with like an impression of a person that you do, and maybe he
Okay.
might change in your mind, in
Ah,
your
yes.
soul, as how that guy would do it. You know,
A nice
Like
little
one of your
pattern
puppets.
break.
Like one of your puppets.
We'll just change it up a little bit more. New Heroes of Goo Jitsu, beasts from the zoo, full of squishy, stretchy goo. Nothing looks like them, no one fights like them. They twist, they stretch, they crunch. It's goo versus evil. You can master the goo power of all 13 heroes. Heroes of Goo Jitsu, each sold separately.
You know, this is really odd. This is the first time, Nathan, that I've heard you read even with a character, and the delivery was pretty much the same.
Ah, you know what it was? I know what it is. Mr. Absorber Man here, who memorizes commercials. Okay, I've been doing it ever since I was a kid. Okay. At the age of 6, I could remember every single commercial. When I was 3 years old, I knew the 2 all beef patty, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun by heart, and I could sing the song. Okay, so what happened was while I was transcribing this, the entire commercial got pounded into my brain.
Exactly.
And so I'm stuck in that mode, and I've got to get out of it.
Yeah. This is just
out of your
rote.
head,
This
man.
is now repetition for you, which is
Yeah.
why
Yeah.
the delivery is coming out like, yes, I know what the words are. Let's go
It's
ahead and
messing
say
me
them
over.
again and again, and it's literally that tone.
Yes.
No, 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 no.
I'm
Like,
going to slow this thing way down and just read it
no,
like
don't
I would
slow
read
it
it.
down. Don't
no,
slow
no,
it
no,
down.
no, 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 no,
No,
no,
no,
We're
no.
breaking a pattern here.
Yeah.
We're breaking a pattern here.
Was that
Slow
Jack
it way
Nicholson?
down.
New Heroes of Goo Jitsu, beasts from the zoo, full of squishy, stretchy goo. Nothing looks like them. No one fights like them. They twist, they stretch, they crunch. It's goo versus evil. You can master the goo power of all 13 heroes. Heroes of Goo Jitsu, each sold separately.
Yeah, I still think that memorization is really
Yeah.
affecting your read.
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
messing with me big time.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's a blessing and a curse, and it's always been a blessing before, but right now it ain't helping.
Try reading it line by line backwards from the bottom up.
Each sold separately. Heroes of Goo Jitsu. It's goo versus evil. You can master the goo power of all 13 heroes. They twist, they stretch, they crunch. Nothing looks like them. No one fights like them. New heroes of Goo-Jitsu, beasts from the zoo, full of squishy, stretchy goo.
Okay, now try it forward.
No, you have to read all the words backwards too.
Try it forward and with the energy again.
Hang on a second. Let me see if this PVC pipe can hold me up. I'll read it upside down. Too. New heroes of Goo-Jitsu, beasts from the zoo, full of squishy, stretchy goo. Nothing looks like them. No one fights like them. They twist, they stretch, they crunch. It's goo versus evil. You can master the goo power of all 13 heroes. Heroes of Goo-Jitsu, each sold separately.
So you got a little bit more out of your memorization there, but it still really heavily affected you at the very beginning. That first line was still pretty rote in its in how you read it, but the rest of it felt like you started to loosen up a bit more.
You know what I think he needs to do, and this is probably some bad direction most of the time, but I think he needs to yell.
Need to yell.
Yeah. Okay. Go full zone 3. Heck, zone 4.
Yeah, I'm in the back corner of the booth. Yeah. New heroes of Goo-Jitsu, beasts from the zoo, full of squishy, stretchy goo. Nothing looks like them. No one fights like them. They twist, they stretch, they crunch. It's goo versus evil. You can master the goo power of all 13 heroes. Heroes of Goo-Jitsu, each sold separately.
Much better.
Finally, that was a lot better. It wasn't the
Try
same
not to
old
fall
thing.
through the door over here. Like mindful of the fact that I've got this material here that I don't want to jank down while I'm moving around.
Wow. I think this is the first time we've really come across something like this with you, Nathan.
We've run into something that has been actually something, for me, it's always been a good thing because I can memorize commercial jingles. It helps me to keep up pace with things. If I get something musical that I have to do, I can listen to the music and I can get in pace with it because I can memorize this stuff real good. But on the bad side of that is if I'm transcribing it for here, that's where it messed me up. That was the trap for me right there because I am trying to get around something that I was born into. It's natural for me to be able to do this. Of course, it always puzzled my mother because I couldn't memorize stuff from my homework to save my life, but I can memorize a commercial like that.
It's homework. It's homework. You're never going to memorize stuff for your homework.
Mom's like, why don't you sing it like a commercial jingle? You'll remember it.
You see, this is why it's really, really important to not overstudy your copy. And this is something that we have talked about once way long ago, but I want to bring that up again. This is a really, really good example of why it's very, it's almost toxic to overstudy your copy because then you start cornering yourself into a read and it gets very, very, very difficult to break yourself out of it. I mean, we had to go through how many different pattern breaks to get you to deliver it differently? It was 3?
Yeah. Yeah.
You had to go through 3 different pattern breaks to get you to deliver it differently. So it's really, really dangerous to like read your script again and again and again. Well, now, if you have if you have issues when it comes to either your sight or comprehension when it comes to reading, that's obviously a different topic altogether. But if you get like really nervous or if you get really into just like, okay, I'm reading it again, all right, reading it again, going through it again and again and again, you're really going to pigeonhole yourself into a single delivery that's going to be very difficult to break yourself out of.
It gets you overthinking. It really gets you overthinking. The thing of it is, okay, like I said, with me, this is a natural tendency I have. Okay. I remember stuff, especially commercial wise. One, because of the musicality, the way it pulls together. And so, and the repetition. So it sticks in my head. Now, a little rehearsal, and all you theater guys will get what I'm saying. A little rehearsal doesn't hurt, but it's overthinking, constant overthinking.
Hey, Nathan, roll that into a read. Just, like what you were talking about, just roll from that right into a read. And then, I mean, you're getting out of your head.
Right. New heroes of Goo-Jitsu, beasts from the zoo, full of squishy, stretchy goo. Nothing looks like them. No one fights like them. They twist, they stretch, they crunch. It's goo versus evil. You can master the goo power of all 13 heroes. Heroes of Goo-Jitsu, each sold separately.
You went right back to the same read.
I did.
You
I
were
dropped-
shouting and you were back. You were gesticulating. You were moving around. It was a wonderful read. This one, you were standing there just reading and you weren't moving
Yeah.
much. And it went right back exactly the way you started. It wasn't any different. So your best read was the when you were in zone almost 4.5. I guess.
when I was taking advantage of my spacious booth that I built just for such a read.
Well, it wasn't that loud, so I think you'd be okay not to have to back off that far.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think definitely this has been a great illustration of that pitfall of reading a script again and again. Now you have a good reason because you were transcribing it.
Yes.
But yeah, this can happen, especially with somebody who's really nervous or really new to the industry. So why don't we go ahead and move on? Goldie,
Yes.
you're up.
Hey, Frank, I'm going to show you something.
You have to edit that out too.
I believe you, Russ. I believe you. It's just like I said. I mean, I am just surprised. That's all because you just don't look like you're 52 years old, man.
I
So
know.
good
I'm
on
lucky.
you.
I'm lucky. I'm blessed.
You are. You are. Get the
All you young whippersnappers in this group, I swear.
All right. All right. Goldie?
Okay. I'm going to try something slightly different than these deep reads and see if it works for it. No, heroes of Jiu-Jitsu. No, heroes of Goo-Jitsu. Beasts from the zoo, full of squishy, stretchy goo. Nothing looks like them. No one fights like them. They twist, they stretch, they crunch. It's goo versus evil. You can master the goo power of all 13 heroes. Heroes of Goo-Jitsu, each sold separately.
I think that was a little bit too My Little Pony.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you had
A little bit of My Little
in
Pony.
there, it would have been perfect.
Yeah, if this was My Little Pony, you got the job. But this is Heroes of Goo-Jitsu.
Not for this. That didn't work. Nice.
Yeah.
Hey, way to try.
It's like Bubbles from the Powerpuff Girls talking about fighting. Like, I mean, it'll happen. It's a little bit
Oh,
weird, though.
There's Powerpuff Girls. I get that.
I mean, it's happened, but the tone of voice didn't really work for this particularly.
It did remind me of Tara Strong, though. That was good.
Yeah, I like that character. It was definitely very Tara Strong.
Okay, if you're gonna do a Tara Strong-esque thing, try
hang on,
Timmy Turner.
Gotta be right back.
Fairly Odd Parents.
It reminded me of Devin.
Aw. Yeah, that's good though. I mean, try it and
Let's
just
go for the
do
deeper
something
one.
else. Yeah.
Yeah, let's go different. New heroes of Goo-Jitsu, beasts from the zoo. Try that again. New heroes of Goo-Jitsu, beasts from the zoo, full of squishy, stretchy goo. Nothing looks like them. No one fights like them. They stretch, they crunch. It's goo versus evil. You can master the goo power of all 13 houses. Heroes of Goo-Jitsu, each sold separately.
Love the movements.
Yeah.
You can master the goo power of all 13 houses?
Oh,
I was going to say the same way.
All 13 houses of the Goo-Jitsu clan.
They'll be there to get you, lad. Oh, wait, wrong company. Wrong company.
Different kind of clan. I'm thinking Ninja Turtles kind of stuff.
Oh well.
You can master the goo power of all 13 houses.
Yeah, it was like, okay, and then
Heroes.
that was not a bad choice, but I thought you lost a little bit of enthusiasm in spots, and it wasn't. I didn't keep track of them all, but it would be, yeah, well, it's going along with it, and then it was this, and then you pump back up again and went down again.
I actually don't agree with the choice of voice either. I think you should use your own voice.
Just use my normal. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, because that really didn't. It really sounded
Yes.
distracting.
Forced.
Forced.
Yeah.
All right.
Forced.
Go
Okay.
for take 3. New Heroes of Goo-Jitsu, Beasts from the Zoo, full of squishy, stretchy goo. Nothing looks like them. No one fights like them. They twist, they stretch, they crunch. It's goo versus evil. You can master the goo power of all 13 heroes. Heroes of Goo-Jitsu, each sold separately.
Yeah, that was much better.
Okay. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, you at least the voice itself sounded a lot more comfortable. So
The voice.
yeah, that really helped out with the read.
Yeah, it helped you maintain your enthusiasm all the way through. I think with having the forced read, you were more concentrating on the character's voice than what you were trying to accomplish. Yeah, and I think this time around, it was stayed even. Your enthusiasm stayed up the whole time. I thought it was much better.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yep, it was better.
Another idea for you, Nathan, but I thought if you want to do it at the end, that's cool. We're getting later and I want to make sure that my crazy ideas don't hold up people.
Okay.
Okay.
I want to try it. If you don't, that's cool too. You've done it enough times.
But I did notice, so this commercial is flashes of video. So
Yeah.
it's right. So it's not all synced together because it sounded like the read was you were just reading line per line and it had a new identity each line. It didn't feel like it was in sync with itself. Does that make sense? It
didn't feel very coherent.
Yes.
Like it didn't flow together very well. Yeah,
Right,
like they were
yeah.
each their own separate story.
Right, exactly. That's
do
what
it
I
again?
noticed. That's all I noticed.
Okay.
Yeah, because this is all supposed to be obviously tying into the same item or the same product. So,
Cool.
I don't know. I think in the interest of time, because we still have several people more to go, we'll go ahead and move on for now. But if we have some extra time afterwards, we'll loop back around.
Okay.
Cool. Sounds good.
All right. So, John, you're up next.
New Heroes of Gujitsu, Beasts from the Zoo, full squishy, stretchy goo. Nothing looks like them. No one fights like them. They twist, they stretch, they crunch. It's goo versus evil. You can master the goo power of all 13 heroes. Heroes of Gujitsu, each sold separately.
Lots of staccato. I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Talk, pause. Talk, pause. Talk, pause.
Were you trying to do like a Japanese anime kind of thing?
That's what it sounded like
Is
to me.
Is that what you were doing?
No.
Because that's how it came off sounding. It sounded like
Yeah.
heroes of Gujitsu, beast from the zoo. You know,
Was
it
it
almost
believable?
sounded
That's
Then,
what I
yeah.
was hearing too,
trying to
Brian.
be a samurai warrior or something.
Yes.
You were
Little
just
Dragon
missing-
Ball Z thing going on there.
Yeah,
missing the bad video to go with it.
yeah. But in all honesty, John, that's what I thought. I thought maybe you were trying a different take on it, and that's what you were going for.
Goku is going Super Saiyan again.
Yeah, he's just going to be screaming for the next 5 episodes. So to me, it sounded almost like you were trying to go for an accent, but not really, and you were stuck kind of in between this like slightly accented, over enunciated read.
Yeah, it was supposed to be slightly.
Okay,
The
yeah,
over enunciation. Okay, you are definitely over enunciated, and the nothing looks like them, no one fights like them gets you away from that. The script is telling you you don't have to enunciate every single syllable. I mean, yeah, you have to speak them, but you don't have to like over enunciate, as they were saying.
All right, let's get rid of the whole
And back off
Anime
just a
genre.
little bit, John. If you're going to be that loud on it, you're peaking. You're hitting peaks
know,
on several
I-
spots right close to the microphone.
I turned this thing up a notch tonight, which was probably a bad idea.
Well,
Yeah,
actually,
and then
I
we have
don't-
a script.
Yeah, but you want
I believe you don't. Yeah, I believe you don't actually need to get that loud on it.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
Although I like the high energy.
Yeah,
The high energy is good, but I think we can bring the volume down and still keep that same intensity.
I don't know why I just chose this crazy. half
Whatever.
thing.
When you're trying stuff, that's totally cool. That's what
good.
you're supposed to do here.
That's the whole idea.
All right, so enough of that. Back up to zone, whatever.
Bless you.
Yes, thank you. Sorry.
All right, go for it, John.
New Heroes of Gujitsu, beasts from the zoo, full of squishy, stretchy goo. Nothing looks like them. No one fights like them. They twist, they stretch, they crunch. It's goo versus evil. You can master the goo power of all 13 heroes. Heroes of Gujitsu. Each sold separately.
Okay.
that was very sing-songy.
All right.
You had the same tempo, wave, Beacon Valley in every single line.
Okay.
Did you hear
No one
that too,
fights like
Frank?
them. No
Or
one.
I mean,
Like,
Mike.
Whatever. And then you went to the next one, and then you did the same thing. You can collect all 13 heroes, and then it dropped back down. I don't have
Yeah, and the other thing too is you started off energy wise. You started off up here, and it was every line. The energy dropped off just a touch, just a touch, just a touch. So when you got down to each sold separately, to the each sold separately, that was actually a natural step down from how you were going all the way down. So try and keep your energy level up, because you started off with a lot of great energy. You really did. But it just, every line seemed to, like you were taking a step downstairs kind of thing.
I agree.
Keep the energy up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Stop singing songs.
Yep.
New Heroes of Gujitsu. I'm just going to start saying jujitsu. I know it.
Well, over enunciate goo, or not over enunciate, but over emphasize. Over emphasize goo.
Okay.
Goo.
Kind of like
Yeah.
what Nathan was
New Heroes of Gujitsu. Like overemphasize it, because
Okay.
People expect jujitsu, but they're getting goo.
All right.
Give them the goo.
Yeah. Nathan
That's
hit me
really
pretty
weird.
hard, and it
But
makes
still,
sense.
give them the goo.
All right.
We want the goo.
New Heroes of Gujitsu, beasts from the zoo, full of squishy, stretchy goo. Nothing looks like them. No one fights like them. They twist, they stretch, they crunch. It's goo versus evil. You can master the goo power of all 13 heroes. Heroes of Gujitsu, each sold separately.
Okay. You kept the energy all the way through this time. That was consistent energy all the way through.
Yes.
Much like Goldie, though, it seems like each line is kind of disconnected. Like each one is its own individual read.
Might pull them together into a paragraph. I'm gonna try that. I don't know if that'll work, but
Well, that's probably what happened, because I separated them all into separate lines. So maybe that's why it's reading like that.
that was my theory for me. Although I haven't had a chance to test it if throwing them together helps or not.
Yeah, because this is like any other commercial. This is telling some kind of a story. At least you're supposed to string the concepts together like you're telling a story of some kind. So, yeah, I don't know exactly how I could.
Well, I know one thing I can suggest is when you were reading, John, it was New Heroes of Gujitsu, beasts from the zoo, full of squishy, stretchy goo. Like every line started like this and then kind of went down in a valley and came up again. It was like, nothing looks like them. No one fights like them. They twist, they stretch, they crunch. I mean, that's, so it's like you're starting up here and then you're kind of going down in a roller coaster, and then you're going back up again afterwards.
Well, that's the story, is it? Just kidding.
I think one thing you need to try and do, and how you mark your copy or how you get it in your mind to do it, is there's nothing wrong with taking each line as it comes, but just doing that. Remember, we've talked about it before. NBC, you don't ding ding ding, like, so the same kind of idea where you're changing every line. You just got to change the read, change the inflection on every line so it doesn't sound identical to the line before it. There's nothing wrong with reading it like that, where you go, new heroes of jujitsu. There's nothing wrong, or gujitsu. See, now you got me doing it. But anyways, there's nothing wrong with reading the first line like that, but then you read the second one where you start up here and you just go down. And then the next one, you start down here and you go up. Like, you just got to change your inflection on the different lines. That's the only thing. And if it means putting little arrows for up and down and medium or whatever, maybe that's what you have to do. I'm not sure. Everybody's got their own little key code that they use when they mark copy.
Quirks. Don't you love them?
Quirks.
Yeah, I think I should probably start printing it and doing it in pencil instead of trying to do it on the word processor.
Yeah, that could really help out, because you could do a lot more things in pencil than you can normally do in word processor.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, again, whatever gets you through the night, baby.
Don't say that.
Hey, Frank, just thinking of you gets me through the night.
All right, before this ventures off into any weirder territory, why don't we go ahead and move along, shall we? Everybody cool with that?
Okay.
Yeah. Cool.
Yes.
All right, Dan, you're up.
Okay, let me pull up the script. I'm still looking at it through my phone. So, can you hear me? I'm not making.
Yes, we can.
Okay, good. New heroes of Gujitsu, beasts from the zoo, full of squishy, stretchy goo. Nothing looks like them. No one fights like them. They twist, they stretch, they crunch. It's goo versus evil. You can master the goo power of all 13 heroes. Heroes of Gujitsu, each sold separately.
I liked it. The only one thing that I'd love to hear is give twist and stretch their own thing. You gave crunch kind of that crunch feel to it, but give like twist and stretch a little bit more of that too.
Okay.
Yeah.
That would be the only thing. I actually kind of like the surfer dude approach. I don't know if you were going for that intentionally, but it came off, and I kind of like that personally. I don't know what did everybody else think?
I think that came off great. The surfer dude.
Yeah, very well done.
Yeah.
Even for a Dan Reed, that was fantastic.
And considering the fact that this commercial is wedged between episodes of SpongeBob, that surfer dude thing would work.
Yeah, it could. It very well could work. But it had that. And that almost like going for that Sunday thing without stretching your voice outside of where it would normally go. So it still felt really comfortable and really, I don't know, just really fitting with your voice and this particular script. So stick with that. The only change that I'd want to hear is give twist, stretch, twist and stretch something like you did with crunch, because you gave crunch a little bit of that crunch feel, but twist and stretch need their own thing.
They twist, they stretch, they crunch. Like that?
Yeah. Now go ahead and add that into the full read.
Okay. New heroes of Gujitsu, beasts from the zoo, full of squishy, stretchy goo. Nothing looks like them. No one fights like them. They twist, they stretch, they crunch. It's goo versus evil. You can master the goo power of all 13 heroes. Heroes of Gujitsu, each sold separately.
All right. What did everybody think of that?
I really like that.
Too much surfer dude that time. The first time you weren't really trying to be a surfer dude, and it came off and it had just that tinge to it. This time you were consciously trying to be a surfer guy, and it was too much surfer guy.
I don't know, for the kid audience that he's reaching, because kids gonna hear that and I gotta get one of these. Mom, I want one.
No, Mom, I want a surfboard. I got in the mood for a surfboard.
I want a surfboard. I know we live in the Midwest, Mom, but I still want a surfboard. Uncle Danny does it. He surfs the Colorado River. Come on.
Yeah, you had good enthusiasm all the way through, but I think I thought it was well done, but it went almost to the dude, whoa, and then we went whoa, and it was just awesome.
Yeah, it was like full on Spicoli.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was, just back that off a tiny bit, but your enthusiasm, the way you did those words in the middle, that was terrific. You could see the characters doing those things. So
Yeah,
good
so
job.
then this time, just tone down the surfer dude. Yeah.
On a positive, which you're always talking about, because you always talk about your Texas accent, there was zero Texas accent involved in that one.
Yep.
I mean, it was gone completely.
Cool.
And working on that one. All right.
Great.
New Heroes of Gujitsu, Beast from the Zoo, full of squishy, stretchy goo. Nothing looks like them. No one fights like them. They twist, they stretch, they crunch. It's goo versus evil. You can master the goo power of all 13 heroes. Heroes of Gujitsu, each sold separately.
Okay, now do it again really quick, but hit the goos harder and stretch them just a touch. You're just going right over them. You're going like Heroes of Gujitsu. Like you're just like, it should be like Gujitsu, or like Heroes of, it's goo versus evil. And you're just like hitting them and just going boom, right over it.
Okay.
New Heroes of Gujitsu, Beast from the Zoo, full of squishy, stretchy goo. Nothing looks like them. No one fights like them. They twist, they stretch, they crunch. It's goo versus evil. You can master the goo power of all 13 heroes. Heroes of Gujitsu, each sold separately.
There you go.
There you go. There you go.
Fantastic.
My one nitpick, and I would just probably cut it from one recording and put it into the next, is you put a lot of emphasis on zoo at the very beginning. Gujitsu. Like you really hit that a little harder than maybe you should have. But other than that, the rest of the performance was fantastic.
Yep,
Yeah,
it
it was a
smoothed
really
out
good
right after that. I'm with you, Michael. That's what I heard was like, that didn't sound right. And then it started flowing. So kudos. Nice job.
Your stretch was really awesome. You had the best stretch of anyone.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. All right. Rob's turn.
All right, Rob, you're up.
Okay. Can I try a little something different?
Yeah, please do.
Okay.
Maybe a little bit louder too.
Okay.
With your gain or
Your
whatever.
Heroes of Gujitsu, Beast from the Zoo, full of squishy, stretchy goo. Nothing looks like him. No one fights like him. They twist, they stretch, they crunch. It's goo versus evil. You can master the goo power of all 13 heroes. Heroes of Gujitsu, each sold separately.
His accent
I love
changed
it.
throughout it.
What was that? Asian? Is that Asian?
That was sort of Chinese.
I heard a little bit of Master Splinter, but then it splintered off.
Oh,
Yeah.
It went Hispanic.
Yeah. There was a little bit in there where it went a little bit Hispanic, and nowadays it's kind of dangerous to try stuff like that.
That's why
Like
I
at
did.
one point, that was like totally cool, and I personally, honestly, don't have a problem with that. I actually kind of liked the read, but trying to go after those accents can be kind of dangerous for you nowadays.
Yeah.
Another thing is a lot of people are going to want somebody. Whenever I've seen casting calls for accents specifically, a lot of them say like, native speakers only.
Yep.
They really want people who are going to really carry those accents through and really properly maintain them. And sometimes when you try to do an accent, and this happens with a lot of people, you're acting twice. You're trying to interpret the script properly, and you're trying to keep your accent going properly. And with yours, like we said, it went off a little bit into like Hispanic, right in the middle, and then back to, what you were doing before. So
Do the Dawes Butler.
I would say drop the accent. I liked the energy. I liked the delivery, but drop the accent this time.
New heroes of Goo Jitsu. Beasts from the zoo, full of squishy, stretchy goo. Nothing looks like them. No one fights like them. They twist, they stretch, they crunch. It's goo versus evil. You can master the goo power of all 13 heroes. Heroes of Goo Jitsu. Each sold separately.
I like it. I like it.
Me too. Really good.
Good stuff.
Yeah, that was fantastic. Like
It's a lot of
again,
power
great.
without the volume.
Yeah, exactly. Like that. Like I said before, your delivery was great. Without the accent, it really hit the, like, I really feel it hit the sweet spot of what you were trying to go for. Like, that was a fantastic read. Really good choices throughout there too.
Yeah, you kept your enthusiasm that you had from the first read when we went, yeah, all those voices. So kudos to you. That's not always easy to do when you've been trying something else, and then to carry that same enthusiasm over to just being you. You did a great job. Very nice.
Way to go. You're hired. It only took you 2 rounds.
Technically only one because the
I
person did
am, so.
Sorry. Go ahead.
I've been told that I sound a lot younger than I am, so I think it's in my wheelhouse.
Yep.
Well,
Fantastic.
I mean, you're in good company.
You're in very good company. I mean, between Russ, myself,
me.
Yeah.
It had the opposite effect. I've been told I sound a lot older than I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. In a casting situation, Michael would play dad. The rest of us would
Yeah.
play the kids.
And I
Can you
would play
imagine that? Me
grandma.
playing the dad with like Nathan and Russ arguing as the kids?
And Frank would be on the radio.
It's such a weird irony considering I've got a daughter that's like just a couple years younger than Michael.
How old are you, Michael?
Not old enough to show my ID.
Millennial.
No, I'm just kidding.
He's
Yeah,
a
no,
millennial.
I just recently turned 30.
Oh my
All right, way to go.
God. Wow, I thought you were older than that.
Yeah.
I've got underwear older than you are.
I can say it safely in this group. I'll be 50 next year, so.
We're waiting to harass you for it.
But
I just turned 51 a couple of
but I changed my hairstyle so I won't look it.
All right. So I guess
Bring us home, Michael.
All right, Michael.
let's do this.
Yes.
Rock and roll.
New heroes of Goo Jitsu. Beasts from the zoo, full of squishy.
Yeah.
New heroes of Goo Jitsu. Beasts from the zoo, full of squishy, stretchy goo. Nothing looks like them. No one fights like them. They twist, they stretch, they crunch. It's goo versus evil. You can master the goo power of all 13 heroes. Heroes of Goo Jitsu, each sold separately.
All right. Well, that does it for the mic check tonight.
That was perfect.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
That's what he gets for going last.
I
You don't think so? What did you want me to change?
No.
What did you
Janet
notice?
called something.
She don't know.
Oh, I know.
Oh, she knows.
How dare you? No, I know. I just don't have. I don't know how to get it out. It's I'd like to hear you do it again, Michael, because it didn't have any kind of enthusiasm as far as
Okay.
far as I'm concerned. Yeah.
Okay.
Or Michael.
I'll
anyway.
try it again.
Okay.
New heroes of Goo Jitsu, beasts from the zoo, full of squishy, stretchy goo. Nothing looks like them. No one fights like them. They twist, they stretch, they crunch. It's goo versus evil. You can master the goo power of all 13 heroes. Heroes of Goo Jitsu, each sold separately.
Perfect.
Fantastic.
Wonderful, darling.
That had more of the feel to it.
Yes.
Very, very, very
Wunderbar.
nice. Thank you so much for coming out. We appreciate it. The check will be today.
Oh my
All right. I don't know where he is in relation to me in this whole, like, you know, wherever we're located. So I'm just going to go ahead and like pass it off to Nathan, wherever he is. Left, right.
Okay.
He's
Follow
right
me.
below you, darling.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
Passing it down.
And
sorry. I had to fix my camera situation. It's really messed up. And I don't know why. Anyway, this has been another great mic check. And if you haven't been to one of these, why not? We are very easy to find. We're on Facebook, YouTube, and of course, hey, sponsor us on Patreon. Become a patron of the Mic Check. You'll be glad you did. We got a lot of great guest coaches because of our Patreon sponsors. Thank you all for taking care of us in that way. It's been a great summer, and we got more to come. So, YouTube subscribe, hit that little subscribe button, you know, hit the little bell so that you can get notifications when we have new things come up, and join our Facebook group. We've got this great Facebook group. We're a great bunch of people. You love to come and hang around with us. We're a lot of fun to be with. Anyway, we'll see you guys on the next mic check. Bye.
Later. Join us every Monday for free script practice. You can also find the Mic Check on Facebook and Twitter. If you liked what you saw, then subscribe for more.